Radio.
They're coming.
Fitzy and Wippa.
Their focus is extremely short.
How have I even got a job here?
On Nova.
Hello, podcast listeners. It is Leno, Jess, and special guest Thomas Brian Ivy. Tommy, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, podcasters. Nice to see you, or nice to be heard by you.
Correct, Tom. Now, can you just confirm for us, were you interested in being on the podcast, or were you just still sitting in the room when we started to record?
Yeah, I was just sending an email and I hadn't hit send yet, and then Leno said, do you want to be on the podcast? And I was too polite to say no.
That hurts.
Okay, I'm sorry, David.
Feels a lot like how you got your job here as well, Tom, which
Yeah.
is nice to continue that into the pod for our faithful listeners.
Too true.
You're going to enjoy the episode, though, because coming up, The Life Improver is back. More hacks. If you have one, hit us up on our Fitzy and Wippa Instagram. Slide into the DMs. We will likely do that one again next week. Actually, let me just check with the executive producer. Tom, what are we looking?
You are spot on.
Love that for me.
And Tom, while you are here, you have a very special guest joining us to discuss the space race.
Oh, yeah. So, obviously, Wippa's tomato Space-ghetti, or Big John Whitfle's tomato Space-ghetti has been taking the world by storm. One of our great friends of the show and one of Australia's best chefs has been doing some secret taste testing around Australia. And the results will shock you. They won't shock you. It's very predictable, but it's a good outcome.
All right, Tom, we don't have all day.
Fitzy and Wippa.
Fitzy and Wippa are launching Wippa's Dad Spaghetti
His famous tomato spaghetti.
into space.
Thursday morning, 8 a.m. We launch a bowl of spaghetti attached to a weather balloon 25 kilometres into space. We're off to Muswellbrook, guys.
Definitely something to look forward to.
I'm excited.
People of Muswellbrook are fizzing. It's not far away. This is massive. Tomorrow, 8 a.m, we launch a bowl of spaghetti into space. You know, I've dreamt of being in radio as a kid. I always thought about the great things we could possibly do on this show. Never in my mind did I think we'd reach the heights we're about to.
Do you know, but so like
In many, many ways.
when a rocket takes off,
Yeah.
it's quite exciting. You watch it go up pretty quickly, but with a balloon, it'll be like, hey, look, there it goes.
Will it even go that fast? Because I have in my head, like when you see people
Helium
standing
balloon.
on a beach in Thailand
Yeah.
and they let those lanterns up
Yes.
into the sky.
Yeah,
Does
how
it go
exciting is that?
It is, but that's because they're quite drunk. But also, is that how fast it will go up?
Pretty much, but the excitement around it and what we're doing and the recipe that's been in the family for just so long. And as I promised, never before on the show, my dad, John Whitfley, the creator of the spaghetti recipe, will be on the show tomorrow.
I doubt
That
it.
is huge.
Yeah.
I strongly
And
doubt it.
what I need to remind you, Australia's number one Elton John impersonator, Elton Jack, will be there to play Rocket Man live as the balloon floats up. So if you can't hear those rockets, you'll hear Rocket Man.
That's a good get.
That's
You've done
huge
really
get.
well there, Tommy. I mean, how much are we paying him for that?
He always wanted to go to Muswellbrook.
Yeah, $1,000. So the now celebs are coming on board, guys, and you'll hear from some of them tomorrow.
Okay.
Including, I think, our Premier will be joining us tomorrow.
Oh, Dom would love it, mate.
With some well wishes.
Yeah, the Domio grin.
Yeah, thank you. That's really good. Hey, one of our friends of the show. Oh, your space helmet's just
Sorry,
arrived.
just-
Whoops, sorry.
just arrived
Lou
late
was
again.
just uploading something to her Instagram.
You're a bit puffed. Thanks for running down to the office and grabbing that.
TikTok.
Well, it doesn't work.
It was a good dance.
It was a
though.
really good dance. I come from a land down under.
Now, Colin Fasnich, one of our absolute best friends of the show, he took it upon himself to actually put John's Tomato Space-ghetti on his menu for a day
Did he?
yesterday at the Banksia Hotel.
Oh, well done, Faz.
Now, he then took it upon himself to conduct some Q&As with people who have tried the Space-ghetti at the Banksia. Do you want to hear the first one?
Yeah, great.
So he served it and got feedback from his guests. Here's the first person he asked for feedback on the dish.
I'm here with another guest. What's your name? John. What do you reckon to Wippa's pasta sauce?
As soon as it came on the table, there was something that smelled quite strong. It smelled like a little bit like my feet after 12 hours in my sneakers, you know what I mean? Like it's a bit rank, but...
Some people may not understand your Portuguese. They smell like feet.
Yes, a little, exactly like feet.
Would you eat this pasta sauce again?
If I had nothing else to eat, perhaps, yes.
P.S. I loved you on MasterChef. Thank you.
So who's your daddy? So Manu.
Yeah, Manu
was part of the stitch up.
Yeah, he was the first one to try it. Now then, Colin, Faz went to Nude Pizza in Malabar on Anzac Parade, and he asked the owner of Nude Pizza to try Space-ghetti.
So, next I'm at Nude Pizza in Malabar, Italian. They make everything themselves, sauces. What do you think of Whopper's tomato sauce?
Wippa.
Oh, well, tomato sauce was all right, was good. Not that bad. I will put a bit more salt, it's a bit watery. Let's say my nonna makes better, I guess, but it's all right, it's all right.
Well, would your nonna approve of this sauce?
Pretty sure she's gonna complain, but what can we do?
There you go, guys. From the Italians, you heard it straight.
That wasn't Miguel from the living room, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
And was that a fake accident?
No, that was real.
Okay,
yeah,
real, not
owner of
racist,
Nude
right?
Pizza. So then, then Faz asked his toughest critic.
Who?
His daughter Lily.
Oh, here we go.
Now Lily apparently
She'd
doesn't
love it.
Well, let's see. Let's find out.
So I won the tomato sauce pasta challenge from my good friend Wippa. I'm here with my biggest critic, Lily Fasnich from Cooking with Maeve. Lily, or otherwise known as my daughter. Lily, what do you reckon to this sauce?
It's very salty, runny, and below average.
You reckon this would fly in the Italians?
No.
What would you score this out of 10?
1.
Good looking space with the Whopper pasta balloon.
Yeah, there he goes. Colin joins us now.
Faz.
Oh, boys.
Big day.
I hear the Rocket Man's getting paid. I was working all day yesterday.
Mate, massive day for you yesterday. Busy as anything. I was concerned that the first review from what sounded like not Portuguese but a French man may have been set up.
No. Everything was scientific. I even had a lab coat on.
Hey, Faz, can I ask you, when you hear someone that says it's it's a special family recipe and stuff like that, and then you hear that there's a tub of Legos tomato paste in there, does that, as a chef, how does that make you feel?
Mate, I love the instruction in the recipe. Make sure it's wetter than when it came out of the jar. That's sort of a giveaway. Don't worry about good Parmesan. Just use the cheap Coles one. Put that in there.
Use the cheap Coles one. Make sure it's grated. Has Lily tried tomato spaghetti before? Because maybe if this was her first time, she probably doesn't understand what she's experiencing.
Mate, she's 12.
Yeah.
Not been living under a rock.
Okay.
You know the good thing, right? I'm going to give you a bit of science here, Whopper.
Yeah, here we go. It's Wippa, yep.
You know when you go on a plane and you have the aeroplane food, because you're up so high, you can't actually taste the food.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So that's the best way to eat that pasta sauce tomorrow.
So if we could possibly...
If we could get a couple of nonnas tied onto the balloon, send them up, then feed them, we'd get good feedback.
Okay, so we need 2 nonnas to be attached to the balloon as well to eat it at 25 kilometres above the
100%.
Earth. My God, Tommy, your job just got harder. 2 nonnas by tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.
Thanks, Faz.
Hey, Faz, that's great, mate. Thanks for getting involved. You'll be tuning into the live stream for the launch at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
100% Whopper, I'll be there.
It's Wippa.
Good on you, Faz.
All right, mate.
Good on you, Faz. Ready to hit the road this summer? It's time to What If It.
Visit whatif.com to plan and book your accommodation, flights, activities, even car hire.
Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply.
What if? It's Aussie for travel.
Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
Let's get into hot dates, guys, because we've all been on them. Nothing more exciting than that energy before you turn up to the restaurant where you might be meeting what could be the future love of your entire life. And, you're focusing on what you're going to wear, maybe thinking about some conversation starters. That's great. And if the date goes really well, then if you've got any romantic music, let's kick that into gear. And then you always wonder, where does it go next? And I'll never forget with Lisa, it was very much, hey, why don't you come back to my place? Huh?
Wasn't it?
No, that wasn't our first date.
Oh, that's right, because you're already in a relationship.
That was just after a big night and 2 colleagues felt
was
hungry.
that a colleague thing?
Yeah. We wanted to talk shop.
Oh, yeah?
So
what
You went to
insights?
Chinatown, ate pork buns and then kissed.
No, we did not kiss.
Did your girlfriend know at the time what was going on?
Well, I didn't do anything wrong. I was having a pork bun with a colleague.
Oh, so if Lisa went
Can you
for
be arrested for a succulent Chinese meal?
Wow, I didn't know that was how it all played out. I thought Fitzy just made funny gags.
No, there's nothing played out, Says.
That's not cool, dude.
She never found out either.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I would be so uncomfortable if Gary just went for a cheeky dump. Let's go. Just going out. I've had drinks with a workmate, and me and a female colleague are just going to take off for a little one-on-one meal, even if you didn't make out.
This is like you and I going to eat dumplings.
Very different.
Why?
I think you're disgusting to be around. And everybody in Sydney and possibly nationally knows that I love you, but I don't even actually want you to help me up if I fall over because it means us touching.
If you hooked up with DeGroot, with the shot, I would have thought.
I was under the influence of many litres of booze. I was getting a divorce.
I'm looking like a sure thing here.
Influence of lust, I think you call it, Says. But
the timing as well, and I could not believe it. But after you went for that succulent Chinese meal, then all of a sudden your relationship did stop. It was like it was unbelievable. It was like it was timed.
Let's move on because this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with another guy and girl. The problem was when they got back to the house for a glass of wine and a coffee and whatever happens next, everyone's had that moment where you just feel your stomach go and nature calls. And the poor girl had to go to the bathroom. Shouldn't have had that espresso martini on the way out the door at the restaurant.
That's a laxative.
Yeah, that'll go straight through you. The issue was when she went upstairs, because she said, is there a bathroom upstairs? Clear message of what you need to do. And the toilet would not flush.
Oh.
Tried once. Tried twice. Still got a floater. Still bobbing apples. What do you do?
No, is it flushing? So the toilet is flushing, but it's
flushing,
not going
but
down.
Yeah, it's
Do
not
you then
removing.
get
It's not doing its job.
Get the toilet brush out?
No.
And just jiggle it around in the bowl?
I don't believe so.
No. How do you
And
get
there could be a lack of water in the cistern.
No. What you do,
So
you
could
put
tip a
toilet
bucket.
paper on top of it.
And
that will bring it down. So then when you do flush the next time, the toilet paper will go down with it.
Well, she decided to get some toilet paper out and actually pick up the deposit.
Wouldn't have gone that way.
And here's the awkward part. She tried to throw it out the window. She's a gymnast, this girl. Tried to throw it out the window.
Was this part of her routine or something?
No, certainly not. As the judge just stood there, 9.9. No, what a delivery. And she threw it out the window. It didn't make the garden. It got lodged where two windows meet. She thought, I'll climb out the window, still with toilet paper in her hand, and I'll be able to grab it and just send it on that last part of the journey it was meant to go, so the dog would get blamed.
No, blame it on a possum or something.
She gets out the window, the poor thing gets stuck. She can't get back up.
There's a movie in this.
She has to yell out to the guy she's on a first date with to say, could you come up here? So he walks into the bathroom, obviously realising the poor girl's hanging on for dear life out the window just next to a nug.
In the dark, you wouldn't highlight the nug was there.
I think you could probably smell it. I mean, his nostrils probably got hit by it when he walked into the bathroom, and then to see her holding on for dear life, just with the little mate sitting next to her, would have been. I don't know if he can come back from that. I don't know if there's a second date.
No, that's over.
Nothing worse.
Well, I mean, it can be
Sarah.
explained that she was embarrassed. I feel like they would have a second date and they would get married, and that was
There's
a
no
funny story that would be
How
brought
can
up
you
at the wedding.
explain that story to somebody?
I didn't want you to see that I'd done a poo, so I tried to throw it out your window, and it's gone horribly wrong, and now I'm hanging off a building.
There's no way I would believe that.
Well, there's no other explanation for why she was out there.
Your first impression is that she's trying to get away from you. She's
you
trying
would.
to climb out the window.
It's
She's
not
going
you.
to the toilet.
It's not you, it's me. And that thing. Just next to me. A mate of mine, he had a girlfriend. It was quite early on in the relationship. And she lived in Sydney, but she was staying with him in Melbourne. What was awkward was, just as the car arrived to pick her up to go to the airport, she went and did number twos in the toilet, but it wouldn't flush.
What?
So she just flushed it and shut the lid. She then, that was the second flush, she then sat on the plane the entire time thinking, I didn't even check if it flushed on the second flush. So she still doesn't know whether he got home, walked into the bathroom, and she'd left a bit of a departing present. Hey, what a great weekend. I left something for you.
Oh.
I mean, it's real life, isn't it? Like, we all poo. We all poo.
You don't need to quantify this.
I just...
Tom,
it's real life.
Tom, it is not a good way to start a Wednesday morning.
No,
absolutely agree. I
13-24-10.
regret this greatly.
I mean, Tom, would we open it up?
No, and
Pardon-
open it up is
pardon
the wrong
pun.
word.
And just say, if you've ever been caught out in a very awkward situation, the story about the girl and the bag, is that true? The story about the girl that stayed over and then the toilet wouldn't flush, so she got a plastic bag, got it out, tied it in a knot, and then she put it on the kitchen bench, walked out the front door, realised she'd forgotten something, and the door shut behind her. And
the poo was on the bench.
in a bag.
Mm.
So when he got home...
What?
Leno's got a great story on this. He was telling
Nope.
us yesterday.
No, we
as well.
can't go there. We can't go there. That's sick. You're sick,
We're
Leno.
playing in such a clean space.
No, there's accidents and then there's filth. And I won't have filth on the Fitzy Whipper show.
Never.
I draw the line at filth. Accidents,
feel
fecal
violated.
accidents are one thing.
I'll stop.
Fetishes are another thing. And Leno, your private stories can stay elsewhere. Sorry, mate. No romance in what you get up to.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, look what the cat dragged in. It's a great saying, isn't it? When
Yeah.
someone rocks up to a party a bit dishevelled. Look what the cat dragged in.
Awesome.
Because cats do drag in a lot of stuff. I mean, we've had cats throughout our whole lives, and you know what? A majority of them bring in birds and stuff like that. I'd love to hear from you though. 13, 24, 10. Apart from birds, what has your cat actually dragged in?
Oh,
this is the.
well, the cat
Oh
song.
yeah. Can you give us human? Oh yes.
You are cat.
We're making music.
This was a huge hit.
It's a matter of fact.
K-pop.
Turn it up, Leno, because when the cat comes in, it's an amazing chorus.
It gets so stuck in your
Here
head.
comes the cat. Oh, look what the cat's dragged in. Here he is. Oh, jeez, it's really soothing. I was a bit tense this morning, but now I feel relaxed.
Big weekend for the bloke who recorded his cat. He's had a cracker. Still single, I believe, surprisingly.
This is over in New Zealand. Ginny and David. Ginny.
Hey, Jen. Virginia. Yep.
It's... They're sick of their cat because the cat's just bringing in a lot of birds and stuff like that, animals, but now it's getting out of control. So the cat's now bringing in lacy black knickers from a neighbour's.
Wow.
So, well, this I don't know if David's actually saying this.
Dave's dressed in a cat suit.
There's a tradie down the end of the street as well who has his shoes. What are they? The steel-toed boots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, he's so sick of the cat taking his steel-toed boots, he takes an individual one night and then takes the other one the next night, that he's put 2.5 kilogram weights on the boots. The cats have got the weights off the boots and is still stealing the boots.
That is
How
impressive.
big's the cat? Is it Mr. Mistopheles?
The other one
It's not
is...
Jason Derulo from Cats, is it?
Rum Tom Tugger.
There's quite a few... I mean, there's quite a few questions we need to ask David here, though, but... the cat's also brought home a bong and a Ziploc bag containing an unidentified white powder.
Okay. Clever cat.
It feels like a defence to police, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Dave's working pretty hard on the streets at
The
night.
cat's done it again.
Oh, not the cat.
But you can have it for 300. Amy from Cronulla, what did your cat bring in?
He's brought in a few possums and kookaburras as well, but they're all still being alive. So it was more the mission of trying to get them out of the house.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so
the worst.
Do you then rescue them and let them go free?
Yeah, I guess I don't.
What? Not dead possums, Amy.
That'll do it.
It's not pulling in a full possum, is it?
Yeah. So he's had a few baby possums, and then we found the mother possum actually just crawling around in the house.
Gee, that's a big fight. Cat v possum.
Possums can fight.
Oh, yeah. Big ringtail.
Tanya in Minto, what did your friend's cat drag inside?
Flowers.
Flower?
Oh, what, digging up the garden?
That's cute,
Or just
isn't it?
Valentine's Day?
Florist cat.
Yeah, you know
when the flower falls off the tree and just is sitting on the ground?
Yeah.
She had a couple of cats, but this one in particular would leave one at her back door every morning for her.
That is
It's really cute. She thought she had a secret admirer, but it was just the cat.
It's beautiful. The cat's actually
Yeah.
a floral arrangement, and every morning on your way to work puts a smile on your face.
Well, I told you the story about a friend of ours. This was at a 21st back in the day, and the parents were there. And the dad, one of the dads that was invited to the party, got a bit carried away on the dance floor. He had an accident in his strides. So he was wearing a cream chino. Went outside.
Another story?
Yep. Went outside, had to ditch the undies. Gets a phone call from the person having the party the next day saying, "Do you want to come and get your underpants?" He said, "What are you talking about? How did you know it was mine?" He said, "Because the cats just dragged them in from the garden and you've got your name sewn into the back of them."
Oh, that's bad, isn't it?
No. Nothing worse.
Well,
Nothing worse.
Oh, there'd be a
There
few,
is not.
I reckon.
Absolutely not on this planet.
I reckon that
Never.
date you told us about earlier in the day.
2 people enter. Only one leaves.
Lock the door!
There's 60 seconds on the clock.
Time to dance.
It's time to play Last Man Standing.
It's not too late for a cheeky summer break. Head to whatif.com and book your Aussie getaway today. What If? It's Aussie for travel.
Do you know what?
Only place to travel. Whatif.com. Get on board.
If I won today, I'd take everybody to Muswellbrook.
Well, we're going there anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Unfortunately.
We're off there. 8 a.m. tomorrow. We launch Spaghetti into space.
So excited. Maria in Rose Meadow. What did you want to say, Maria?
Good morning, boys.
Hi, Maria.
Is that what you wanted to say?
Yes, I do. No, I want to say how slimming that Wippa looks in his spacesuit. That's all.
How slimming. Okay, you weren't teed up to say that at all, were you?
Rolled off the tongue, didn't
they,
it?
No, I
Maria?
wasn't, but I've been thinking about it. I just had another look at it on the Facebook.
Yeah, because someone else said I looked a little podgy, Maria, so I'll take that.
No.
Nah.
All right, let's go. You're up against You're up against Sam in Lane Cove today, who has a scripted question as well. What are you? Have you got an offer for the team, Sam?
Well, I am actually taking my son up to Armidale to start uni on Friday. So if you can't find your bowl of spaghetti, we're going through Muswellbrook and we'll have a look for it.
Right, you can be part of the hunt. Well, that's the thing. Once the balloon gets to around 25 kilometres height, it pops. Your job is then to find where it lands. Yeah. That's going to be the tricky bit.
Could be Armidale.
We'll be looking.
All right.
Could be Armidale. Maria, you're going first. You get one wrong, power goes over to Sam. Whoever has the power at the end of 60 seconds. $500 to spend at whatif.com. Maria, your 60 seconds starts now. Who sings Rolling in the Deep and Hello?
Oh gosh. I'll pass because I can't.
Pass. It's Adele. Over to Sam. Sam, Thor is the Norse god of what?
Thunder.
Yes, correct. Which country is closer to the equator, Australia or England?
Australia.
Yes, that is correct. Who did Kanye West deliver a full truck full of roses to on Valentine's Day?
Was it Crystal?
No, it was Kim Kardashian. Back to Maria. Maria, true or false? Tortellini is a field pasta.
True.
That is true. Which rapper's Instagram handle is Champagne Pappy?
Pass. I don't
It's
know.
Drake. Over to Sam. Sam, in what sport do you yell for if a ball has gone rogue?
Golf.
Yes. Where is NASA based? What country, Sam?
The USA.
Yes. What does the J in Donald J. Trump stand for?
Oh,
Saved by the bell. Saved.
Doesn't matter.
Sam, you've got it. Congratulations. $500 to spend at whatif.com.
Oh, congrats. Good Armidale.
Oh, good on you. And Maria, great sportsmanship there too. Thanks, Maria. And you're right. I look pretty good in the spacesuit.
Yeah, I know.
Life Improver, we need to get you motivated for 2022.
We like the Life Improver. How good's the Life Improver? Oh yeah, the Life Improver. Your life improving!
It's not to improve it. I mean, these are just little things. We've been getting some great calls over the last few weeks. Here's some from last week.
Elastic on your surgical mask. Once you finish with your mask, tie it in a knot makes the best hair ties.
Okay, I've got a bunch of keys. I paint them with nail polish. I paint one with red for the front door and one for green for the back door.
If you go to the grocery store and you can't remember what to buy, take a photo of your fridge before you leave, and then you'll know what you have and don't have.
Well, mine's a bit boring, but I freeze grapes to put them in my wine so it doesn't get watered down.
See, these are great. Just little life hacks, all right?
Feel better already.
Just to help us out, just to get us into 2022.
What have you got today,
Do you want
mate?
some more?
Yeah.
Learn the names of 10 trees. So when you go walking with someone, you can tell them what that tree is.
What a pest.
Call an old friend out of the blue. Someone that you haven't spoken to for ages. Buy a newspaper. I don't know.
Okay.
They're nice to
All right.
read.
Do you know what's good to do too, along with learning 10 trees, Fitz, is to learn maybe the breed of 10 different birds. So you could say, oh, well, that's a Moreton Bay fig, and it looks like there's an Indian minor bird sitting on the branch.
If either of you ask me to go for a walk or hang at the park, forget it. How boring.
Here's another one for you. Jess is going to put this up on the screen. A guy's worked this out at Westfield shopping centres, and you know how they've got the new licence plate number, register your licence plate? If you rock up, that's $7, right? He's been there for 4 hours.
Yep.
What you do, you reverse back if no one's behind you. Then it resets itself. You go back again, and because you've already been there once, you get through for free.
But wouldn't it read the number plate and say you still haven't paid?
He reckons that that's a hack. So once if you've been at a shopping centre for a long period of time and you rock up and it says you owe this amount of money, if you reverse back, it resets itself, you go forward, it thinks that you've only been there for 3 seconds. Free car park.
That's amazing if it's true.
Now, I don't know how long that's going to last for now, and the bloke is an idiot for putting it up on social media.
Well, it's like people that park in the city and they just park on the street hoping to get the fine because it's less than what the parking would cost.
Yes. Lizette from Avalon, what's your life hack, Lizette?
Hi. All the extra bay leaves that you've got left over from Big John's tomato spaghetti,
Yeah.
throw them into your pantry and you won't get any moth. And as soon as you see a moth, you know that you have to replace the bay leaf.
Moths hate the smell of bay leaves, or?
I have no idea. I was told that by a very old Italian lady.
What are those moths called?
Pantry moth.
No, there's a type of moth. They're those tiny little ones, and once they get in, they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Hey, Lizette, can I tell you another one that we did, and I saw this one on TikTok but didn't believe it, but you get a small glass and you then put detergent and lemon juice into the glass. You then sit that glass within your fruit bowl, and all those little fruit flies that buzz around, they will be attracted to the lemon juice in the jar or the glass, and then when they land on the water, the detergent will stick them there. So it actually works. You capture them in there.
Wow.
That's not
genius.
bad. There's a life hack. Thanks, Lizette.
Your life
Samantha in Auburn, what's your life hack, Sam?
My life hack is to make sure that you always have a bunch of cash in any bag that you carry around. That way you're not stuck without any money.
Well...
Oh, that's clever. Your life improved. Okay,
Does anyone carry cash anymore?
I do. And every time I go to pay for a coffee, they look at me and go, oh, cash, every single day
Do
at the
they?
same coffee shop. Yeah, well, I pay babysitters.
Yeah.
And I also just like, I
Why
don't
don't you
like...
transfer it to the babysitter?
Well, they like cash. I don't like tapping a $4 coffee.
Why not?
Well, it's just stupid. Why can't you whack down a $5?
I've been doing this job for 17 years just with cashies as well, just to avoid the tax.
Yeah, right. I didn't
Nova
realise.
plays me in cashies.
Just a briefcase on a Friday.
Alex in Ingleburn, what's your life hack?
Hey, boys. My hack is I was on the way to the city and found parking to a job interview, and I was running a bit late, so I just parked and run and completely forgot about buying a ticket.
Yep.
So I come back from the interview and went well, got the job, but come back and see a fine on my car.
Yeah.
So the average person will just pay it, but I'm not the average person.
Yeah, what do
I
you
like
do?
to hack where I can.
Yep.
So I waited around and walked around to all the other cars to see if there was a ticket that would have covered my fine. And because I had a Lotus, I had this excuse that, the unique shape of the dash.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I found someone as he was leaving. I explained my situation. I was even offering to pay him $20 just for his $5 parking ticket. He liked my idea so much, he just gave it to me and said, good luck. And I sent him the letter saying my ticket was here, but because of the unique shape of the dash, maybe the guy didn't see it. And I got a letter back saying the fine is waived. But they did mention that it's unusual for someone to have to cross the road to buy a ticket from the other side of the road. But I got away with it. Ha.
Wow.
There's a lot of work in that, though.
There is.
I understand, Alex, and if you're prepared to be patient and actually go through it,
worth it.
You know
Is your
what?
time
in
more
my
valuable?
life, I'm like, nah.
Nah, mate.
I'm not hanging around looking for a similar car.
Can't be bothered.
Brendan in Springwood, what's your life hack? Brendan.
Hey, Brendan.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Got you, mate.
Got you, Brenda.
I've just found cleaning brushes that go on the drill to clean the bath and the shower.
Have you?
So,
Yes, I have.
where do you find where are the cleaning brushes?
I found them at Bunnings,
Yeah.
and as I said, they're big, and they go on the end of the drill, and away you go.
So the end of them is like a drill bit.
Yeah, the end of it, the connection is a drill bit, goes in the drill, and the brush is on the end, and the brush is almost the size of the palm of your hand.
That's great.
Oh,
Isn't that
mate.
extraordinary?
There's-
I'm just upstairs drilling the bath,
What a great idea.
cleaning everything.
Patrick in North Epping, last one. What's your life hack, Pat?
I've got I have to log into my computer for work, and as anyone that does know, you have to probably log in 10 or 20 times every day. So what I do is you have to change your password every 3 months. Every 3 months, I think of what is it that I need inspiring to do, and I make my password something along those lines. So
What's an
go for a
example?
walk, get outside. So I'm typing it in 10, 20 times every day, and it's constant reinforcement to do whatever it is I'm typing in.
It becomes your reminder. It becomes your constant reminder of what you need in your life.
Yeah, so every 3 months, you just come up with a new one of what do I need to focus on now, and you make it.
So, Patrick, it could be don't snack. Get off the snacks.
Absolutely. Eat less crap.
That's
great.
It is a great
And
idea.
Patrick, you said off air, your password at the moment is mistress.
Stay away from the mistress.
So that's
Patrick's
a quick
gone quiet.
reminder. Yeah, I don't know why
Yeah,
Patrick
lols.
dropped out.
See, these are the
There's
little things.
your life improved.
We like the Life Improver. How good's the Life Improver? Oh yeah, the Life Improver. Your Life Improver.
Hey, pull your head in. 13, 24, 10. Have you ever been to prison? Ever done time? Ever found yourself an H block?
You don't have to talk like that.
Dreaming about the real world outside the walls? What would you do? Like, you always, when you see those prison shows, and there's quite a few of them, there's one on at the moment, but you always picture yourself in there, don't you? Going, how would I last? My big issue is the toilet setup in the in the bunk bed.
More toilet gear?
No, I just really uncomfortable about that.
But didn't it's not that you go to a number 2 in your cell. The prison rules are that you just do a number 1 in your cell, but if you need to go to a sit down, there is a communal toilet block down the end that you all go to.
Hey, you've got a mate in prison.
Oh, yeah, but I got that one from Mr. In Between.
What does he say the toughest part about being in prison is?
The hours that you get locked in your cell. You get out at about 7, you get put back in at about 3, and then you just sit there from 3 o'clock. And they have
3 through till 7 the next morning.
Yeah, and they only have free to air. I mean, come on.
Don't you get...
So does he have a television?
Yeah, everyone gets a
right,
TV.
okay,
yeah.
got you.
But he's in a cell with another bloke?
Another bloke.
And then don't they go out for dinner? Do you get your dinner in your room?
Go out for dinner?
No.
To the cafeteria.
I'm just
Chiswick
going
on
to get
Friday
Uber
night.
Eats and stay in my cell tonight, boys.
Sorry, guys, I'm exhausted from last night. What is this food fest?
I believe it comes to you, but it's different from venue to venue. For example, at Hunter Correctional, it's more like a dorm, where at Silverwater, it's a maximum security, and so you're all in your
Right.
cell. So it depends on where you are.
What did your mate do?
Assault. Yes, wasn't great. But you know, that's okay. You do the crime, you do the time. As I'll say to get out of being involved in this conversation.
Time flies, though. He's out soon. What's interesting, in Switzerland, they're opening a new prison. But when this prison will accommodate 241 prisoners. What they've done, though, to make sure that the staff are fully trained, is they've got 600 people who have decided to become inmates for a month. They're being paid for this. To become inmates for a month and live as prisoners. Be an interesting experience, wouldn't
Well,
it?
there's a television show at the moment where they send in 10 people.
Oh, that's right, they're undercover,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that are not criminals.
Really? See how they cope.
So no, you've got to survive without the other prisoners knowing that you're a fake.
Fun game of life and death.
It's an amazing show. Oh, is it called 60 Days?
Yeah, 60 Days In. Yeah, it's on Stan, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it's on Stan.
Love to see that.
So you've got to try to make friends in there and try to just stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
There's always an option that if you're worried about what's going on, that you can actually go and get help or
buzz out.
Are they not sussed by the cameras?
No, the prisoners think that it's a documentary being filmed.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So they've got no idea that one of the prisoners or a few of the prisoners in their area are not supposed to be there.
Oh, God. They encourage the inmates that if they're not happy with one of the other inmates, feel free to attack.
Yeah, that'd be the scary.
So the prison guards know how to react if a situation like that occurs when the prison officially opens. How intense would that be?
Oh, it's full on. Caleb from Hoxton Park, how long were you in prison for?
Oh, I've done about 5 years.
5 years.
Can we ask what for, Caleb?
It was just for some unregistered firearms.
Okay. And Caleb, what's the toughest part in those 5 years? When you first get in there, or what was the toughest part?
Most of the time it's the beginning, just so you can adjust to that atmosphere.
And once you settled in, was it pretty straightforward and just tiring?
It's it's a lot on the head. You got all that time just to sit there and think. But it's pretty much the first 9 months, and then from there you're probably just enjoying your time with the rest of the fellas.
Well, that's right. Have you still got good friends from in there, Caleb?
Yeah, you build some good friendships in there.
Well, you have to, don't you?
Yeah, you spend the most of your time with yourself, mate, until you get yourself a one out. But it's not worth it, mate.
No.
I can't say it to you in any other way.
And Caleb, what was the first thing you did when you got out of prison on that day that you dreamt of after 5 years?
I just sat at home for about a week trying to adjust to coming back home. Everything was too loud. Spending time with the wife and the kids.
I know. I always... I mean, it's different for Caleb because it was 5 years, but I always think
Big
of Brooks.
Brother?
No, Brooks in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
He didn't want to get out, man. He was institutionalised.
Yep, that was his world.
That was his own. He didn't know any different. He had that little crow that he used to have as a pet.
Yep.
Remember, he was on the bus, that poor old man.
Let me back in.
Brooks was here music. I cry every time when I sit. There it is, Leno. Oh, now you're gonna
Because, mate, I get it. I understand because that's your routine. You don't have to think on the outside, on the inside world.
I get it.
My dinner's at this time.
I get it.
You are.
I'm let out at this time.
Something else.
And nothing else happens. So when I'm in the free world, I'm confused.
Actually, we've got someone here who was accidentally thrown into prison in the Middle East. Marty and Como, are you there?
G'day, boys, and Sarah, how you doing?
Morning.
What happened, Marty?
So I was actually going to the UAE for some business meetings, and I was thinking, oh, this is great. I was flying and got to the country, and then as soon as they went to stamp my passport, they held my passport and took me aside, and then over the course of the next 12 hours, I then ended up in a prison in the Middle East.
Did you get out of them why they were off you, Marty?
Eventually I did. It took about 24 hours to actually work out why.
Yeah.
There was someone with the same name as me who had a unpaid debt.
Oh,
and over there, it's you're guilty until proven innocent.
Yes.
Jeez.
And the way I got off was the person who was owed the money actually came to the prison to identify me and said, "Oh no,
that's not him.
We're after someone from Ireland." So,
Oh my
about
God!
2 days.
How intense, Marty.
Were they physical with you at all, Marty, at any stage?
No. But it was a very tough environment as far as everything was in a different language. I didn't know what was going on, and it made me really appreciate my life and never wanted to end up behind those cell doors
again.
Because Marty, there were stories, weren't there, of people that did have debt over there where they would leave their apartments, leave the car at the airport without declaring anything, and just get on a plane.
Oh, absolutely. You used to see at the Dubai airport people would leave their Ferraris or BMWs because you've got to pay in advance. So, it was very scary. Very scary.
Makes for a great story on radio, though, Marty, which is good news.
George, you there?
Hey, mate, how are you? Hello, boys. Sarah.
Okay,
How are you going?
Good. Now, you caused the riot squad to show up when you were in prison, George. What happened?
Yeah, well, I was on the phone. There's a phone in the yard, and I was holding onto the receiver, and these three came up to me because I'm a big guy, and they thought I was a Nazi. I got a bald head. They decided to switch my phone off, so I basically went to town on them and put all three in hospital.
Oh, my God. George.
That's a pretty heavy story, George.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then the riot squad came in and gave me a bit of a crack, and I got 7 days in a lockup where you get stuck in a box for 7 days, and you get put in this cage, and you just walk the cage for an hour a day, and you get locked up for 23 hours.
What, so you're in a dark little room, are you, George?
No, it's not a dark room. You got your shower. You got no TV, no. There's a toilet in there and a shower, but nothing else.
What's that like, George? Like, do you start to lose your mind?
No, I'm pretty tough because of my training. So, because I'm a bodybuilder, so I went in there thinking, right, I've got to switch off the switch of thinking of what's happening in the outside world, and just train. That's all I did: train, eat, sleep, and just. There's no weights in there. You can't do any kind of. So you do physical, like you throw guys on your shoulders, or but it's pretty tough. But you know what? It's something that I learned. And it was 20 years ago. I've never been back. Never done anything again. So.
What's the one thing that you look forward to every day, George?
Today?
No. When you're in there, like what's the one? Yeah, when you're in there.
Oh,
what's a good day?
It's just the food.
Right.
The food's pretty to tell you the truth. You get like on a Sunday, every Friday it's like fish, like
Yeah.
And then on a I think Saturday night was the steak, and then on Sundays you get one egg, one piece of bacon. So we used to do a cook up. Everyone put all this together and do a big cook up. But it was you just got to be mentally prepared. And there was the young kids that send in there. You know what I mean? Like one day these guys took these shoes. He came sat next to me. He was like, I don't know, 18 or something, and he'd stolen a car or something, and he was freaking out.
Yeah.
And I spoke to one of the other head guys in the jail. I said, listen, mate, they've stolen his shoes. They need to put his shoes back.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
So they had no choice because there was a guy that ran the jail. I didn't get into any of that stuff.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't.
Hey, annoying too, George. You couldn't get a protein shake in there, mate, if you know what I mean.
I could get a protein
He did get a
bodybuilder.
Well, if you saw Shawshank as well, that was Morgan Freeman. He was the one that could get things.
Sure, protein shake redemption.
So there would be someone in there who could get protein shakes. You get those little axes, and that's how he's tunnelled his way out in 20 years. But George just wanted a protein shake. And a couple of up and goes, in the morning just to get his day going.
But no weights in there, so you have to just throw a bloke over the shoulder and keep lifting.
I would not last a day. After listening to George.
You do that bit, George.
Why is that guy crying? Well, that was Shawshank as well. Remember the guy that cried on the first night? That's me.
That's you. Just referencing Shawshank the entire time.
Can we talk about Radiohead, one of the greatest bands of all time?
One of your favourite bands of all time.
I love Radiohead, and they've been around for a very long time. They do their own thing. I mean, we know that this was their first big hit with Creep. One very talented man in the band is a man by the name of Johnny Greenwood. Johnny's gone on to do soundtracks for movies like There Will Be Blood. He's made a lot of money and done really, really well. And he's a very talented man. He knows a lot of instruments, right? And he just adds layers and layers to each song. He's really, really good at it. But he's just come out the other day in an interview and said when he first started with Radiohead, he was employed to go on the keyboards. They needed a keyboard player. So he said, yeah, I can play keyboards.
I'll do it, mate.
Rocked up and has never played the piano before. Didn't know what he was doing. He said, the band made quite a racket. So what I did is I turned off the keyboard player and made out I was just playing along with them.
As it turns out, they didn't need a keyboarder.
It was all guitars and distortion. So I turned the keyboard off and I would pretend to play for weeks on end. The lead singer, Tom York, would say, I can't quite hear what you're doing, but you know what? You're adding a real interesting texture because I can't hear what you're playing, but it's sounding really good. And I'm thinking, well, no, you can't because I'm not really playing.
It's turned off.
So then he would go home freaking out every night and he bought himself a keyboard player, a keyboard, and he just started teaching himself at home for the next few weeks.
Amazing.
And started getting the basics up, and they were like, mate, Johnny, you're awesome.
Just watching YouTube clips, bit of simple piano, simply piano.
Is there any other instruments that you know? And he started playing more instruments in the band.
That's
and it started from
amazing.
there.
He snuck in.
He faked it until he made it.
How good's that? Just made it up on the spot. I love those stories.
Well, I've had a lot of mates that left Australia and went over to London. Where we grew up, they were sick of where we grew up, and they just went over to London because they had mates over there who were like Sparkies, had no experience in the electrical industry at all, and their mates would go, come over here, I'll get you a job with us, and you can work with me, and I'll teach you how to be a Sparky. So they would lie on their resumes, completely fake it, say that they had an apprenticeship back in Australia,
skilled electrician,
get the job, go with the mate, and they would, the next couple of years, would teach them up until teach them what to do.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, everybody's been in a situation, I think, in a job where they've felt like I shouldn't be at the table. I mean, I had that when I worked for a building company, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing there. But a mate's dad said, you should come and work with us. And I went, you bet, I'm in. And I would sit there.
Did you contribute at all?
No, but I was in charge of taking the minutes.
Yeah.
So I would sit there in these meetings where they were building $200 million towers.
Yeah.
And I had to write down all the important things to then share the minutes with everybody at the table.
First point of call.
You're dealing there with the architects and also the builders.
Were you any good at it?
Terrible.
That's really dangerous.
Well, not to mention the fact that I'm a horrible speller says.
I know that.
So they would, often the minutes would be sent out and it'd just be sent back to me with a whole lot of errors in it. Not to mention the fact that I would fall asleep the entire time. So I kept eating cookies and drinking water to try and stay awake.
Were they going, oh, how good's this guy? He knows shorthand. And you go, no.
I'm falling asleep. I'm scribbling.
That's just how he's spelling it.
No, it's just the food I got to pick up on the way home. So they would say things, and I would have no idea what they were talking about,
Like,
and I
check
would
the
say,
angels of the building. No, that's the angles of the building.
damn,
Yeah.
there's no autocorrect on my pen. And so I would then write down, I'd say, sorry to interrupt, stop the meeting. What would you like me to note there?
How annoying. The
I was
flow
that
of
guy.
the meeting.
See, my mum was a stenographer.
Yeah, in court.
So she had to write down everything, but she said she was just good at typewriting and said, yeah, I've done some stenography before. I know what I'm doing, and had no idea what she was doing because it's a different type of
It's a
typewriting.
whole other language.
Yeah, it's another shorthand.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a totally different. So when she first started, she said, I had no idea. I had to get someone to teach me how to do it.
Love playing Space Invaders. Gus, hello, welcome to the show. Tell us,
Hi, guys.
Tell us what you faked your way into.
Well, I wanted to get married in Indonesia, and the girl that I wanted to get married to, she had brothers, and they wanted to do a criminal record check on me, a police check.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had a few little minor things on my police check. So I got an inkjet printer.
Yeah.
Got some emblems from the New South Wales Police Force. They have the emblems on the side.
Yes.
And I wrote a fake police check. This person has no...
Okay. Your name's not really Gus, is it?
No, yes.
Oh, it is. No. Well, that's clever of you.
Criminal history. So
It's Christopher Skase, isn't it? Gus, and so, mate, and you've done this for love, obviously, because you loved her, and you completely sucked them in?
Yeah, on fake paper, nice paper, and nice... 10 hours on the printer, back and forth, getting all the details right, and comparing it to my original one.
Good effort.
Catch me if you can.
Really good effort. Gus, stay on the line. I might use you for a couple of other things, if that's all right. Benny in Avalon's given us a call. Tell us about your friend.
Yeah, so my mate took a bit of a different approach to get a job. He was a keen surfer and he wanted to work in the surf industry. So he ended up putting a dirty old shoe on the hiring manager's doorstep with his resume in it. And he said, help me get a foot in the door.
Good.
That's
Good.
bad.
Help me get a foot in the door.
Yeah, he got the job.
I mean, we speak about that other one where you buy somebody a nice pair of shoes and you send it and say, if you want the other one, give me 5 minutes of your time.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Yeah, a friend of mine did that one and it seemed to work. He got the meeting and then he was successful in the meeting and got the job.
What shoes would you go with?
Like a Julius Marlowe's, some sort of smart suit-wearing shoe.
Pair of Todds?
Pair of
or
Clarks.
just one Todd?
One Todd.
If you want to look good in the south of France. Todds, plural.
Yeah, that's good.
Give me a call. Give me
really
5 minutes.
Yeah, Yeezys would be strong.
Lights, camera,
Ooh, Sarah. It's the same Prince with a fresh take. The dramatic retelling of the classic Will Smith story, Bel Air, is now streaming only on Stan.
Says Alec Baldwin. I think we all saw this coming.
Yeah, he's being sued by Helena Hutchins' family for wrongful death, claiming the basic gun safety rules were violated, starting with the alleged lapses include live ammo on the movie set, other shortcomings like the crew, including Alec Baldwin, should have checked that the gun weren't loaded.
God, is that Alec Baldwin's job?
They're saying it is. He never checked the gun himself.
Because I'm an actor.
I know, but he's one of the people now who have held the weapon. I mean, he fired the weapon, but held the weapon, didn't check it, didn't check the ammo himself before using it. So unfortunately, whether or not he'll be found guilty, he's still going to be held accountable or questioned. And cost-cutting measures are the big one. Inexperienced armourers, and assistant prop masters suddenly being in charge of things they shouldn't have been in charge of. So, yeah, yuck.
That's
yuck
pretty heavy.
For him. Yeah, yuck for him, but obviously worse for her family. We'll wait and see what happens. Kanye has admitted this morning to harassing Kim Kardashian, sending roses and threatening Pete Davidson. He says he knows sharing screenshots of their conversations, which is what he was doing yesterday, was not good, and it's jarring for people to read. He said he's going to stop using capital letters because he said I didn't realise people read it and thought I was screaming at them, and
yeah, but see, even because Kim got a bit angry yesterday and said, "Can you just keep this private? Why do you have to put this up on your Instagram?"
So she reached out to him to say, because he'd put up a photo of a guy in a headlock saying everyone don't go and attack Pete Davidson, basically, and then put up screenshots of Kim saying, stop all this because people who are crazy fans will go and
someone
hurt
will get
Pete,
hurt.
and someone will get hurt, and it will be your fault. And then they appear to have a relatively nice exchange, but then Kanye just keeps uploading screen grabs, and she says, "Why do you have to make everything so public?" And he says, "Because you're my number one. I got a text from my number one person in my world, and I love you." And all. It's just starting to feel quite creepy, to be honest.
He's heartbroken.
Yeah, he is, but get it together. You got 4 kids. They have to grow up reading this. Some of them are old enough to see
I don't know,
this
Sarah.
stuff.
Is it a guy fighting for his family?
Stop fighting. Their divorce should be finalised in the next few weeks.
Never
Stop
over
fighting.
till it's over.
Do one of the funny face filters on Instagram
that
or
would
something and
work.
send a video back of that.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a laugh with it, you
Long
know what I
hair,
mean?
glasses, beard.
Like the Squidward one, you look like a model.
Yeah, that's
or something
funny,
like
that one.
That's funny.
Or the big
Kids
mouth.
would love that. Look at Dad, he looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Lols. Finally, someone else who can't seem to let it go, Nick Cannon. Now, Fitz, we talked about him because he has 8 children to 6 different women.
This is Mariah Carey's guy, yeah?
Right, so he is the father of Mariah Carey's kids. And without exaggerating, every 6 months he seems to bring out a girlfriend who's, say, 3 or 4 months pregnant.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. And they all seem okay with this setup.
Get the snip, mate.
This is the thing. He said the other day, no, I'm going to become celibate now because, this has got out of control.
Yeah.
And he actually was at the baby shower of another kid, and the one prior was distressed that they didn't know. So it was just yuck. He has released a song overnight called Alone.
Oh, we've been waiting for this.
Well, the problem is he appears to be begging Mariah Carey to come back to him. Have a listen. This is how it starts. It's her song.
Beautiful. Have we heard from James Packer?
Almost feels like it's too late. Super Bowl would have been great to get him involved. Is he a singer, is he?
Well, he is, but he also, I didn't quite realise that because he hosts Britain's Got Talent or
Right,
America's Got Talent or something. So he's a TV host. But using one of her songs and then the lyrics, I Want You Back.
Hey,
like
Sarah.
she's with someone else. It's been 6 years.
Could it just be a heartbroken guy trying to get his family back?
Well said, mate.
These
Thanks,
guys
buddy.
are so desperate. Like, there's enough people in the world. Move on.
Yeah, well,
maybe you can't.
No, you can.
Move on straight to the vasectomy clinic. Get that done first.
Totally.
You know
then
what
get
he's
on with your life.
The next thing he has to do is put up conversations of text messages on his Instagram account.
In capitals. I don't want to bring the mood down. Can I just jump in here quickly, guys? I'm a bit angry with Wordle at the moment. The word today, particularly hard. Tom did not even know what the word was.
Never heard of it.
I didn't either.
Let alone know how to spell that word.
No.
I just feel like since New York Times have purchased it, words have got harder, guys. The words have got harder,
Well said,
and the fun's been stripped out of Wordle.
There is a fair bit of outrage online this morning
there?
saying the same thing.
I've said it, mate. I'm out of here.
I think you need to... no, I'm not going to give away any clues.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it. Let's talk about Novak Djokovic. We did hear recently that he had got the vaccination. I think, Matty DeGroot, you were talking about it. There was a rumour, a guy that writes about Novak all the time, saying he's going to get the jab because he didn't like seeing Rafael Nadal win the Australian Open and go past him with Grand Slam wins. Well, he's come out on the BBC last night and he has actually buried that. And this is what he actually had to say last... Oh, sorry, Leno, you don't have it, do you?
He's playing Wordle.
The Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, he doesn't know that it's a word.
He doesn't know the word either. I think there's an A in there somewhere.
Novak Djokovic, N-O-V-A-K. Is that word?
It's more than five letters.
Could be. Let's do it.
Are you prepared to forego the chance to be the greatest player that ever picked up a racket, statistically, because you feel so strongly about this jab?
Yes, I do.
If this means that you miss the French Open, is that a price you'd be willing to pay?
Yes, that is the price that I'm willing to pay.
And if it means that you miss Wimbledon this year, again, that's a price you're willing to pay?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, that's everything on the line right
Isn't
there.
it?
You're putting everything on the line.
Well, he's actually...
As a matter of
it was
principle.
funny because I watched the whole interview and he's not against the vaccine.
What's he against?
He's
the mandatory.
Being forced, isn't it?
It's being forced.
Yeah.
Being told that you have to have it to play in a tennis tournament. He doesn't want to be told. Because there are a lot of people out there, I think, that feel the same as Novak.
I agree. But the thing is, it's a principle issue. It's not the jab itself. Like, you could give him the injection, right? You could give him the vaccine in his sleep. And the likelihood is he will never, ever know. But the fact that he's being told is enough to push him away from the entire game forever.
That he's dedicated his life to.
His entire life.
Wow.
There's an ex-AFL footballer by the name of Warren Treadray who read the sport on Channel 9 News down in Adelaide and was paid a lot of money for it, between $200,000 to $300,000 a year. Now, he came out and said, I'm fully vaccinated, I'm just not COVID vaccinated. And I'm not taking it because I don't like being told what I should be putting into my body. Like, I'm vaccinated with everything else, but because you're telling me that I have to get it, I don't want to get it. And so he's lost his job.
But how, getting any vaccine is you've been told to get it. You haven't been forced, so to speak, but you have been told to get it. You've been told by a medical professional this is the best thing for your health. You've got a vaccine. This is no different.
It's timing as well. It's timing of the freedom of speech and the right to have a say and the accessibility and the opportunity and the ways to have a say. You've got so many outlets to get your point across the line and so many ways for your voice to be heard. Therefore, I think it adds to the idea that no one can tell me what to do. You're asking me to put a foreign body into my body who I have control of. And that you're telling me I have to do that?
Well, no. You know what? The medical professionals are the ones that are saying to us that you need this, not just to protect yourself, to protect the family members around you.
And the community.
So then wouldn't you listen to them? It's not like they're saying you have to. They're just saying this is helping. And wouldn't you go, yeah, okay, well, why not?
Well, this is the thing. Why would the guy at Channel 9, like, if you've said yes to all the others, why wouldn't you say yes to this one? You've already said yes to the idea.
I can understand them getting angry with the government. Everyone gets angry with the government. You can't tell us what to do, taxpayer money, all this kind of stuff. Don't tell me what to do. But when there's medical professionals saying that this could save your life and save your grandmother's life that's in an aged care home and you want to go see her, just take it.
And I think what happens with a lot of people too, and what will happen if you're an anti-vaxxer or you're unvaxxed, is that when the why becomes big enough, then you'll do it. So let's say your brother is getting married overseas and you need to be vaccinated to travel. That might be the why.
But what has it got to be for Novak? Like, you've built your life around professional tennis and now you cannot play.
Take up golf.
I just feel like I'm thinking about starting a convoy and going to Canberra.
I don't know,
as
mate.
we speak.
You've got pink eye already, so...
Loretta I'm just going to go... I'm not going to go to Muswellbrook. I'm going to Canberra.
Oh, hang on,
Sorry.
mate. Hang on.
I will not be there tomorrow. Loretta in Erskineville, you've got a theory on Djokovic.
I have, actually. I was just listening to what you were saying, and I thought, I wonder if he's off his game, he's getting past it, and he's going to use this as an excuse to go, well, I was the greatest player of all time. It's not my fault that the stats don't show it. They wouldn't let me play.
Yeah.
He's kind of using it as a way to punk out of the challenge.
Well, do you know what, Loretta? He's really in good form, and I think the other thing as well, on the other side of the coin, I think everyone will be following Rafael Nadal over the French Open and the Wimbledon, and everyone will be cheering for him to get a few clear.
Get a good run on it. That's the thing, though. If he wasn't at the top of his game, you could consider that theory. It'd be like me saying, guys, I'm not going to continue my AFL career.
Because, you retired at 18.
Yeah, I never had one.
Because you got a hit on the knee.
Guys, you know what? Gladiator.
You got the yips, didn't you, Whip?
Gladiator 2, I'm not going to do that movie because I have to be vaccinated.
If only what you could have done.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could have been champion, but the vaccine got in the way, so I'm out. Love to know if someone's gone to a huge effort to get you back. What did they do? What was their final play to say, hey, let's give this another crack. Let's make this work. Don't let this love die.
There's a level of desperation to it, isn't there? Which can get quite sad if you go too hard.
There's a fine line.
I look at what Kanye's done. He's made an absolute tool of himself. He's putting up private conversations that Kim's having on his Instagram account. Then, out the front of her house, a huge ute rocks up with a heap of red roses.
See, I don't think he's crossed the line.
We got Desperado in the system.
Got the Eagles.
Desperado.
See, I like that, Fitz. I like that he's gone, you know what? I'm going to go over the top to show her that I'm still here, and I want that effort to be an expression of how much I love her.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if you've broken up with someone, Sarah, I'll ask you this, right? You and I had this amazing marriage for 10 years, and we went through quite a bit. And you know what? I made a few mistakes. I'm sorry. You know what? My eyes go wandering every now and then.
It was what you did with your old member that was the issue.
I want you back. I want you back real bad. So I will go out and I will buy the things that you love because you're a materialistic, silly woman who will not listen to what I say.
Okay. I would suggest at this stage in this mediation that you don't go back with him, Sarah.
So that Louis Vuitton bag, is there Desperado? Do the Eagles rock up and start playing Desperado? Is there a level of Desperado? You would not take me back because you know my eyes will still wander.
Yeah, once a cheater, always a cheater. You're stuffed.
The effort needs to represent the love.
Hang on, it's fine if I'm single and interested. Effort is beautiful. If I'm in a relationship like Kim Kardashian is, you're just being a fool.
Yeah.
And she was on the other side of the country. And why are you delivering a truck full of roses to her house? The whole world knew through Pap shots she was in New York.
How
You're
good does
being
the
a
truck
fool.
look?
Nikki's given us a call from Cars Park. How far did they go to get you back, Nick?
Okay, so he wrote a full 9-page front and back letter.
Wow.
And then hand-delivered it to my mum when I wasn't at home and tried to get her to convince me to get back with him.
That's an amazing effort.
What did the 9-page consist of? Can you share some of the passages with us?
It was just about the 5 months we were together and how I made him feel and how...
5 months?
Yeah, it was only 5 months, and how I changed his life, and it just wasn't working, and I was like, look, this just isn't working, and so I rocked up to my house, saw his car in my car park, and was like, oh, Jesus, and then he walks out with my mum, and my mum's giving me this look like, oh, darling, you know,
he's lovely.
So lovely, and I'm just like, this is my nightmare.
Yeah, one of my sister's exes tried that with my grandmother. Sent her a letter and then to mum, to try and convince my sister to get back with him.
That is a lot of effort.
Knowing that my sister listened to my grandmother and was very close to her.
Nikki, did you consider it at all?
Not at all. I was so over it. This was just way beyond. This was kind of like I wasn't even thinking about it, but then I was like, look, it's really sweet, but like we need to just cut this off. This is
if you
not
have
happening.
to try that hard.
Desperation.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's heartbreak. Thanks, Nick.
Keelan's given a call from Kirrawee. How far did you go to get them back, Keelan?
So it was actually
the other way around, how far they went to get me.
Yeah, what they do?
Yeah, so I was swiping right on Tinder and matched with a third, and she's quite good looking. So I invited her to come out clubbing, and she called down for it. And anyway, gave her the address to come down, and it ends up being my ex-girlfriend of 5 years.
Oh, so you actually matched with her on Tinder, but she...
Fake profile.
You can't do that, though, Keelan. It's not like she can set that up. That was just...
Yeah, she was pretending to be someone else.
Oh,
jeez. Fake photos and stuff like that.
And what did you do when you saw her and realised what had happened?
Well, it ended up being a one-night stand.
You got back into it, did you? Keeling over.
You are a shallow man.
Oh, okay. So she then felt used and abused, Keelan.
Yeah, so there wasn't much talking things over, but and then I ended up being with the person she was pretending to be.
Oh, okay. So what? You ended up finding the person in the fake profile?
Yeah, it was one of her friends.
Oh, you hooked up with her, mate.
You hooked up with her.
Great bloke.
Yeah,
Great
final
bloke.
kick, isn't it?
Well, you know who's been extremely quiet during this entire chat? That's one man with a checkered past on the dating scene, Matt de Groot. Matt, can you share with us what you considered probably not creepy, but most romantic thing you've ever done to try and impress or get back a girl? I mean, you were very heavy on the flowers for a while.
I mean, you would think that it's the buy a bunch of flowers every month for a girl who had never received flowers.
The one on reception.
Yeah.
And that was every week.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't every week because we didn't get paid enough to afford a bunch of flowers every week, but once a month during payday, and then for 9 months this happened and did not secure a date.
Nothing.
But I would often drive down to Canberra to leave a note on a girl's car and, just let her know, hey, I'm thinking of you, and drive back, and she wouldn't know that. And then there was that time where I left my mobile phone at the airport just so I could call her when I landed back in Australia. I didn't get that phone back, and I didn't get the date either. And then there was the time as well where we went... Let somebody love you. Let somebody love you. And then, of course, there was that time where I went out and I just went...
The Fitzy and Wippa Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.